Mad Men, Fall of the Iron Curtain. The best minds in advertising had assembled in the meeting room of legendary ad agency Sterling Cooper Draper Price. They were making competing presentations for a new company called Monster Power Drinks.
Gentlemen, we all know the rules, but first let's get some drinks,
joked Roger Sterling, having the secretaries pass drinks around to the men. Everyone laughed and got into a good mood. Roger Sterling poured liquor into his Monster Power Drink in typical style.
Now may I present Don Draper's idea,
said Lane Price, inviting the coolest man in the room to stand up. Don Draper turned the lights down low and a movie came on the screen. A boy was hiding under the bed, afraid of bangings from his closet, but then he drank a Monster Power Drink and had bravery. He crawled out from under the bed and opened the door and punched the monster inside on his nose.
Monster Power Drink gives you bravery to fight the monsters in your closet,
said the announcer's voice at the end. The lights came back on and everyone was applauding.
You are just as good as advertised, Don Draper. I think the contest is up,
declared the boss of Monster. His two henchmen leapt to their feet and threw off their coats, revealing AK-47 assault rifles.
I declare this is highly unusual,
said Lane Price, surprised at the new developments.
Show him we mean business.
The henchman shot Lane Price right there and he was badly wounded.
Gentlemen, can't we work out some kind of deal?
asked Roger Sterling, putting on his smoothest account man moves.
We have a deal. You are coming with us to Mother Russia. You will no longer be working for American capitalism, but instead for communist propaganda,
laughed the boss of Monster. Everyone gasped, but a new advertising guy that no one noticed had an idea, and his name just happened to be Alex Thurman. He had a model for his presentation. It wasn't as good of an idea as Don Draper, but it was perfect for this situation. He pressed a button on the model and it started blowing up, filling the meeting room with smoke. The henchmen started firing in the air as everyone screamed. During the confusion, Alex Thurman ran out of the room and down the hallway. He wasn't watching where he was going and ran into another person who escaped from the room. Don Draper.
You can't go that way. The doors have been barred shut,
said Don Draper, remaining calm. What if we go up? Suggested Alex Thurman, jumping on a desk and removing an air vent grill. We should sneak into an empty room and call the police from there, suggested Alex Thurman.
They already cut the phone lines. They knew just where to hit us. I suspect they were working with someone on the inside,
said Don Draper, using his tactical mind. Meanwhile, back in the meeting room, the communists were in control. Lane Price was bleeding a lot, but Joan Holloway was nursing him with skills she learned from her doctor husband.
This charade has gone on long enough,
said the boss of Monster, removing a rubber mask and revealing his true face.
Paul Kinsey,
shouted Pete Campbell, recognizing his former co-worker.
Yes, after you didn't invite me to join your new advertising company, I realized who my true enemies were and just how appealing communism is. In the Soviet Union, everyone is the same. You would work with me,
said Paul Kinsey, showing how they would regret disrespecting him.
Now where is Don Draper?
Screamed Paul Kinsey, noticing the top prize was gone.
What if I told you I could get Don Draper to come to you?
said a voice that belonged to Duck Phillips.
What are you doing, Duck?
said Peggy Olson, who had dated Duck but was now grossed out by him.
Back off, Peggy. This is a man's job,
said Duck Phillips, reflecting the prejudice of the times.
What do you propose, Duck?
asked Paul Kinsey.
Let me and Peggy go, and I'll bring Don Draper back to you as a prisoner,
said Duck Phillips, revealing his true colors.
I have another plan, Duck,
said Paul Kinsey, and then he pulled out a gun and shot Duck. Everyone screamed.
I told him to duck,
laughed Paul Kinsey.
If I was 20 years younger and had a good heart,
You'd what? Your Navy days are long over, old man. There's no one left with combat experience in this office,
laughed Paul Kinsey. Did you hear those gunshots? asked Alex Thurman. Don Draper lighted up a cigarette. Alex Thurman slapped it out of his mouth. Smoking is a bad habit that kills, scolded Alex Thurman.
I'm afraid of battle,
cried Don Draper.
I used to be a soldier in Korea, but I was too scared of fighting. And when the opportunity presented itself, I took the identity of a man who was braver than me. I've been living a lie ever since.
Revealed the truth of Don Draper. But what about your commercial? Everyone has bravery inside of themselves. You don't need a power drink to make it come out, just the support of friends and family, said Alex Thurman, showing his noble spirit.
I just want to see my beautiful new wife and kids again,
said Don Draper, looking weak. But what kind of a world will it be where communists take over and put propaganda into their minds, where they don't strive to have the best ideas, only the same ideas as everyone else? I've lost the person who was most important to me, my mom, and she would never let me turn my back on my friends in a time of need, said Alex Thurman, taking Don Draper's hand in his and sharing his power. You may not have been born Don Draper, but you made yourself the best ad man in the world, and you can be as brave in battle as Don Draper, motivated Alex Thurman. Suddenly, Don Draper was back to being cool.
We don't have any weapons, but I do have an idea,
smiled Don Draper. They snuck into a supply closet and started up a lawnmower tractor that was part of their John Deere account. The sound of the tractor was heard in the meeting room.
Go investigate,
grumbled Paul Kinsey. His henchmen left the room. They saw the tractor coming at them and they started shooting, but it would not stop. It ran over their feet and blood sprayed around. Don Draper and Alex Thurman jumped out from behind desks and grabbed their guns. Don Draper recognized the gunman as ex-employees Sal Romano and the guy Peggy fired.
For the sake of America, you've got to stop Paul Kinsey,
said Sal Romano's dying breath. Paul Kinsey saw this and grabbed Peggy Olson and started running along the meeting room shooting at the two heroes.
He's heading to the roof,
shouted Don Draper. A communist helicopter was coming to pick up Paul Kinsey.
You're braver than I thought, Don Draper. You should join the Soviet Union.
Yelled Paul Kinsey over the approaching rotor blades.
Never!
Declared Don Draper, supporting the American way. Just then, Alex Thurman saw a pipe and got an idea. Grabbed the pipe and loaded a monster power drink in one end and put some of his model explosives in the other end. He put the pipe on his shoulder and ignited the explosives. The drink can flew like a rocket toward the helicopter and it crashed into the roof, knocking Paul Kinsey over the edge. Don Draper grabbed Paul Kinsey's hand just as he lost his grip.
I've got you, Kinsey! Give me your other hand!
Said Don Draper, showing his bravery.
It's too late for me, Don. The communism is too deep in my mind. Tell Jody I'm sorry about everything.
No!
And with that, Paul Kinsey let go and fell.
It looks like Kinsey was a big hit on Madison Avenue after all.
Laughed Roger Sterling, who had arrived to celebrate with a stiff drink. Don Draper's new wife and kids came to the office when they heard the news, and he was glad to be reunited with his family. Even Betty Draper was happy her ex-husband was okay, and even a little bit jealous of his new wife.
I couldn't have done it without the help of Alex Thurman. I look forward to competing with him for new business. He even got me to quit smoking.
Said Don Draper, and Peggy Olson gave Alex Thurman a kiss on the cheek, and Don Draper winked at Alex Thurman, welcoming him into the club of Mad Men. The end.